Y'all hear me? All right. Congratulations to Coach Fisher and Texas A&M. They made enough plays to win. What an environment! Love coming to this place. So hats off to the people of Texas A&M and fans and the environment here. It's one of the great venues in all of college football, and grateful for the opportunity to coach in this environment. I just told the team in the locker room, there's not another team in America that I would rather be the head coach of. I mean, they played their freaking guts out there today. And not to make excuses, but shorthanded, as you guys know. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Injuries that happened in the game at the worst positions it could possibly happen at. But we talk about staying in the fight, meaning just continuing the battle and stay in the fight. And our guys stayed in the freaking fight today. And all we said was just get this thing to the fourth quarter and let's find a way to win it. And we got it to the fourth quarter. It was a one-score game after the touchdown, and we just couldn't quite get over the hump. And that's disappointing, starting with me. And I told them in the locker room, it was fun watching them out there today. I mean, they flew around, they played with passion, didn't always play smart, and that's the frustrating thing that goes back to me as the head coach. Too many fundamental things that popped up today, whether it be a missed tackle or a couple of critical drops that we had, 2 critical penalties on defense that gave them first downs in the first half, 3 intentional groundings. Just not a clean game. We've been a pretty good team this year from a penalty standpoint, but they had 2 penalties, which is interesting, 2 penalties, and then we had 8, and our 8 were legitimate. I mean, they were the right calls, but proud of our defense. They did a good job of getting stops and holding them to field goals in the second half and keeping us in the fight. Again, disappointing we couldn't create a turnover ourselves, get a takeaway. I mean, it's just hard, guys. It's hard in the SEC when you're not generating takeaways, especially against this defense. I mean, that's the best front we played all season, and 45's a phenomenal football player, and then they're really good in the secondary. But having said that, proud of our guys. We got to go back home to Columbia now. We got 4 in a row at home, and we showed the kind of team we can be. We're getting healthier now. Hopefully some guys we had out today will be back next week. Hopefully some of the guys that got banged up today will be back next week. We'll have to see when we go back to Columbia. But, we showed what we can be, and now we got an opportunity in front of our fans back in Columbia. And I know how Gamecock Nation is, and I know they will turn out for Jacksonville State, then Vanderbilt, then Kentucky, and then Clemson. And let's see if we can finish this thing the right way, because our kids care, and they hurt in that locker room, and we need an awesome home crowd on next Saturday afternoon against Jacksonville State. And then we as coaches need to do an even better job of helping our guys make enough plays to win this game when you're on the road in the SEC. And we didn't do enough today, but back to work tomorrow. Injury-wise, Trey Jones has a high ankle sprain. Don't know the prognosis on him. Tree obviously had to come in his place. Tree was available, but as you guys saw, he wasn't 100%. We were hoping to not have to play him in case of emergency, but that was an emergency when Trey got hurt. And then Trey Knox has got a little bit of a hamstring. Hopefully he'll be okay. You guys may ask why Xavier Legette wasn't in there on that last drive. He got his ankle rolled up on, he said, on the second down play over there on their sideline. So he needed to come out, and didn't feel like he could go in on that 3rd and 4th down play as well. So had our opportunities. We just got to continue to put our guys in position to make plays, and our guys, we got to continue to help them to make that play when we get the opportunity. So I'll shut up. I know I've talked long enough. Any questions you guys have?
Seeing the 3 intentional groundings for Spencer, 2 straight drives, I mean, he just doesn't make those kind of mistakes. Just how surprising was that, and just how debilitating was what you guys were trying to do?
Yeah, that was critical. The whole thing was just not play conservative, David, and get it to halftime, but in a lot of ways, like, we weren't going to win this football game letting Texas A&M play 80 plays on defense, and we weren't going to win it throwing it 50 times and or 40 times like we did last week, and having a bunch of plays ourselves. Like, we needed to, because of our depth, needed to find a way to shorten the game and keep the chains moving and generate enough runs. But when you have 3 intentional groundings and a half, I mean, it's debilitating because you lose the down, you lose yardage, we're backed up. You know, and those aren't all on Spencer. Obviously, he's having to throw it away because the protection breaks down. And a couple times, you know, where he threw it, he expected somebody to be there, whether it be a running back that didn't get out because he got hung up in pass protection or whatever it might be. But certainly we haven't done that. I was as surprised as you were that we had one, much less three. But those, obviously those were tough to overcome in that position. That defense is good enough, and we don't need to help them.
Gene, you guys had the 3 sacks in the first quarter, but then none after that. Just did they change something in the protection, or what was working in that first quarter that didn't kind of continue?
We did a little bit more personnel-wise on defense today. We kind of something they hadn't seen before. A little bit more of a 3-down package. We got Jaron Willis out there along with Bam Scott. Just coming out of the Missouri game, Emily, it was. Let's face it, we haven't done a great job of creating enough negative plays. And to sit here and just say we're going to continue to do the same thing over, but playing the same stuff week in, week out, and expect a different result is not realistic. So we wanted to mix it up. We did a little bit more of that package where we got Bam Scott and Jaron Willis on the field. So that I think was an issue for them. Those guys looked like they did a good job. We did a little bit more of not just playing 4 defensive linemen. We did some 3-down stuff where Nick Barrett, who's really good in the interior, playing nose tackle. Thought he did a good job with that, and we wanted to create some negative plays, and we did. I don't know if, they had certainly, once they saw what we were doing, they adjusted to it a little bit, but, at the end of the day, we had some stuff called, and we just got to win our one-on-ones. I wouldn't say in the second half it was so much them changing anything. We continued to call it, and we got to continue to find ways to get home. And we hit the quarterback. I mean, I told Max after the game I got a ton of respect for him because coming into this game, he had taken some shots in games, and I told him that after the game, like, he's tough as nails, and he took some shots today, and we hit him, and disappointing that we weren't able to, get some turnovers from hitting him that many times.
Yeah. With OD not playing at all in the first half, was there anything to that other?
He was suspended for a violation of athletic department policy, nothing illegal at all. But athletic department policy that we have where he was not allowed to play the first half and was able to play the second.
Nick Harbor had one of his best games probably as a college. We saw that, after the drop, Spencer kind of went over to him, said, hey, I got you on the next one. What did you like out of what you saw from Nick today?
What a competitor he is, how much he enjoys playing the game. That's what we talked to our team about all week was just, show how much you enjoy, forget the record.
Yeah.
Show how much we enjoy playing.
Yeah.
And they did that in practice all week, Nick included, and I thought they did that out there today. And Nick showed that, he obviously felt awful about the drop on that first 3rd down, but Spencer told him, hey man, I'm coming right back to you. And it's easy for Spencer to say that because the whole team sees how hard Nick Harbor works. And I think we talked about it on Tuesday in the press conference. The guy's out there early before every practice catching extra balls. He's out there after every practice. And that's why the team, he had an unbelievable week of practice. Told his dad last night at the hotel that we do one-on-ones, receivers versus DBs on Wednesday in practice. And he had one of the most impressive periods of one-on-one routes versus DBs that he's ever had, much less anybody. He just continues to get better because he works. So Spencer told him, I'm coming back to you. I told him on the sideline, it's one play. You're going to make a ton of plays today before the game is out, and he certainly did that. So proud of him, and he just continues to get better. And we continue to try and find ways to get him the ball. We ran that little jet sweep last week against Missouri, and it was really for Leggett, but Leggett wasn't playing or wasn't good to go. So Nick got it, and then we saw him on that play, and it's like, geez, he can get going and gain speed. So we put that in today for him, and he did a great job.
With the running game, obviously, it's going to be tough sledding.